Hello students, welcome to the video classes English. This is your English teacher of 8th standard from St. Norbert Senior Secondary School, Damoh. Today I shall recapitulate the poetry of your English reader book, that is Punishment in Kindergarten, composed by Kamla Das. As we all are having wonderful experiences and golden memories of our childhood, especially when we were in our kindergarten school. Kindergarten school means nursery school, LKG and UKG classes that we have attended. Sometimes we just freshen up our golden childhood memories and become very happy. But in this poem, the poet had a very painful experience of her kindergarten school. So, what was the experience? Let's explore it in the poetry. So here, let's begin with the introduction. In the poem Punishment in Kindergarten, Kamla Das memorizes a childhood experience that was quite painful for her. She was scolded by her teacher for being alone, and her schoolmates also laughed at her that made her weep. Weep means cry. The poem has been divided into 3 parts. In the first part, the poet discusses how her teacher scolded her. In the second part, she memorizes her schoolmates, laughing her, making her weep, and in the final part, she says that being an adult, there is no need for her to memorize this experience. So here, I have given the heading for each stanza so that my students can clearly understand the content as per the stanza. So the heading of first stanza is Encounter with her teacher. Encounter means interaction. The poet begins with the line, "Today the world is a little more mine." That makes it clear that she is going to talk about a past event which was not pleasant for her. Next, she begins by narrating the day in her childhood in kindergarten when she went to a picnic along with her students. The poet uses ample of symbols like a blue-frocked woman for her teacher, throwing words at me like pots and pans to make us feel the intensity of teacher's words. The honey-colored for the day which was ruined by the harsh words of her teacher. Ruined means spoiled. While other students were merrymaking and playing together. Here merrymaking means making fun. Kamla Das was sitting alone. That was not liked by her blue-frocked teacher, and she scolded her by calling her a peculiar child. In the first part, the poet narrates the day which was quite pleasant and it was ultimately ruined by her teacher. So here I want to clear more the content of the very first stanza. So pay attention. Kamla Das tells us the day when she went for a picnic along with the students and her teacher. She describes the appearance of her teacher who wore the blue frock on that day, and she was scolding badly to the poet. She felt her scolding that somebody is throwing pots and pans on her. She felt that the teacher spoiled her day, as she also wanted to spend the day joyfully. On the other hand, students were making fun, they were enjoying a lot together, but the poet was sitting alone, and the teacher wanted her to join the company of her classmates. She called her a peculiar child. Peculiar means unusual child. Overall, she narrates that her teacher ultimately spoiled her day by scolding her in front of the students. So let's move on towards the second stanza of the poetry, and the heading is Laughing of Students. In the second part, the poet says, when the teacher scolded her, other students who were sipping sugarcane started laughing at her. The children, according to Kamla, are funny creatures. They laugh at others pains, and they did the same when she was scolded without realizing how much she was hurt. Being hurt, she hid her face in the sun-warmed hedge and smelled the flowers and the pain. The poet associates flowers with pain. I think she has tried to compare her childhood with the flower, which is quite delicate. Hence, she probably wants to convey that this event shook her innocent childhood. So let's understand in an easiest way. While getting bad scolding from her teacher, she saw that the students who were enjoying the sugar cane began to laugh at her. She felt that no one came forward to console and sympathize her, as she felt very hurt. The poet compared the child with flower, which is quite soft and delicate. Delicate means mild and soft, to treat them. She compared and expressed that day incidents shook her much and her innocent childhood. Move on to the third stanza, that is adulthood peace. In the final stanza, the poet says that now that she is grown up, the memory of that event had faded away because there is nothing in her childhood to cherish and desire for. She has now found adult peace and there is no need to remember. Here, one can clearly see her helplessness in forgetting that event. The memory has not faded away, but quite clear in her mind, as she remembers very well everything of that day. Let's understand the last stanza in a very easy manner. Now the poet has grown up, mature enough, and the bad memory of that day had faded away, and she doesn't want to memorize again, as nothing was worth of cherishing in it. Now she had found peace and no longer helpless. She is the master of her own life and take decision precisely. So here comes the last part of the summarization, that is conclusion of the poetry. The poet conveys the message that in her childhood she was very introvert and reserved. Here introvert and reserved means a person who is always uneasy to mix up with the people so soon. So this nature did not allow her to join the company of others so soon. The poet describes her now an adult and a mature enough that she can make precise decision for herself. No one is there like her teacher, who always scolded her and called her a peculiar child. As per the children, no one is same and similar by their habits and nature. Each child is special with its qualities and features that makes him, her different from others. So this was all about the recapitulation part of the poetry Punishment in Kindergarten, composed by Kamla Das. I hope all my students have understood it well. This is your homework to learn question and answer of this poetry by heart. So till the next video, stay home, stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.